Okay na? Okay na? Nakita na yung title?
Yes,
Nakita na yung
po.
title? Okay na? Introduction na ako. To get a closer look at what is happening to the kids and why they are acting the way they do. So meron tayong mga samples dito. Meron ako mga situations na binigay dito. These are called from actual experience. So ito yung magiging model natin. This will provide models and lessons on how SPED teachers may teach LSENs. So each situation is discussed along the sequence of what's happening, why, what can we do, and let us remember. So what's happening, this is the situation of wherein the child is experiencing, then why, probable cause, maybe, and what can we do? These are the strategies, and let us remember just some sort of a generalization. So we have situation 1, si JC. While singing routine good morning songs, you notice a kid running about non-stop inside the room as if someone has been chasing him. You instantly remember that JC has difficulty finishing his sick work and cannot seem to wait for his turn when lining up to wash his hands before recess. So ito si JC ha. O wag magtaka kasi it's not one time that you will observe these challenging behaviors in a particular learner. So, minsan, Monday, you will observe him, Monday, you will observe him running non-stop. Pwedeng Tuesday, not finishing his kit work. Hindi naman lahat isang araw yan. Okay. So, why? So, going back to our situation, we identified 3 major problems of JC. Non-stop running, difficulty in finishing his sick work, and cannot wait for his turn. So, tatlo agad yan na this would be the cause why his educational performance will be greatly affected. So, yan yung sinasabi lagi natin. Kapag ang bata, we consider a learner with special educational needs if his educational performance is affected. Yun lang naman talaga lagi. So, kahit makulit yan, pero yun nga, pagka lang talaga naapektuhan yung educational performance, that is how we identify him as a learner needing special educational services. So, what can we do? Doon muna tayo sa non-stop running. So, how can we stop or what are some ways that we can do for JC to stop the non-stop running? So you may give him time before the start of class for the child to play in the playground. Kung may swing sa school, pero yung ibang school wala, pero suggestion lang naman yun. You may allow him to play in the playground as part of his routine. Pwede ring you may start with fast and active songs and end with slow and calm songs. Pwede ring you may ask the child to stand beside you to serve as the song leader. So this will make it easier for you to keep the child busy and productive. Kung halimbawa, excited pa rin, kasi yung energy talaga hindi mabuti. So, utusan na lang yung bata. So, you may allow or ask him to paste some markers on the wall Pwede rin tanggalin yung markers that are not needed, to return objects to their proper places after an activity is done, and similar classroom tasks. Going back to JC's non-stop running, this could be due to his hyperactivity. Pwedeng posibleng hyper ang bata. So, ibig sabihin, he needs to use up his excess energy before he can settle himself to calmer, sit-down activities. Hyperactive children get to be more excited when there are too many loud and fast sounds around them. So, yaan ang minsan nagiging problema sa isang hyperactive. Second major problem is his difficulty in finishing his seat work. Kasi nga, kaya parang hirap siya tapusin yung seat work is because he can easily be distracted by movements, sounds, and colors around him. Parang he feels uncomfortable, but he is not able to express his feeling. O kaya naman, the seat work may have been too difficult to match his level. Yun. So, what can we do? Siyempre, see to it that only necessary objects are found around his working area. Avoid using too many colorful pieces of paper around his working area. Maintain a calm and quiet class up.
Ma'am Olive. Sorry to disturb you, Mama. Meron tayong mga participants na kiniklik nila yung kanilang button na present now. So, nape-present po yung kanilang screen. Meron po tayong mga participants na medyo pasaway at kiniklik po nila yung button na present now at naaagaw po sa inyo yung presentation. So, again, paalala ko lang po sa mga participants, no? Wag po nating i-click ang present now. Okay po, ulitin ko po. Wag po ninyong i-click ang present now. Si Ma'am Olive lang po ang nagpe-present. Wala pong mag-represent ng kanilang screen. Okay po? Pag may nag-present po, i-remove ko po kayo sa webinar. Maraming pong salamat. Sige po, Ma'am Olive, paki-resume po ulit yung presentation. Pasensya na po.
Okay. Nasa na tayo sa difficulty in finishing his SIP work na ako. These are the teaching strategies in order to...
Punta po kayo ulit ng Google Meet at i-click nyo po ulit yung present now, ma'am.
Yeah. Google Meet ulit. Google Meet, resume. Resume presenting. Sayang, mauubos yung oras natin. Nasa isang situation pa lang ako. Ayaw. Ayun. Ito na. PowerPoint. Anong slide na ba ako? Anong slide na ko? Saan ako mag-umpisa?
Hindi ma'am, dyan na po kayo sa kay JC ma'am. Kay JC.
Hello, sa JC. Dito na ako sa ano di ba? Strategies. Kay JC.
Diyan sa may slide na may Y ma'am.
Dito na ako sa Y. Nasa Y. Tsaka dito na ako sa what can we do eh. Nandito na ako sa second major problem ni JC, which is difficulty in finishing his sit work. So kasi sabi natin, why is it difficult for him to finish his sit work? Kasi nga due to his being hyperactivity, he gets easily distracted by movement, sounds, and colors around him. So lagi nating tatandaan a behavior has always an antecedent. Bakit siya nagbe-behave ng ganon? It is because of a particular situation wherein his behavior, kaya that is why he shows this kind of behavior. So we check. It is also important to maintain a calm and quiet classroom to help the child focus on the activity. Check if his table have markings, stains, or glare that distract him from focusing on his work. Make sure that the child is feeling well. Check if the task to be done is indeed within the child's level. Ito kasi sometimes, di ba, we consider the ability of the child. Minsan kasi ito yung laging, we need to consider his cognitive ability. Kung halimbawa, you will give him a sit work which is not, which he will not be able to carry on, then hindi talaga niya matatapos. The sit work may be cut into smaller parts to help the child finish it without being discouraged of its length. Minsan, di ba, sa haba, kahit nga sa regular child, minsan they do not finish reading a particular paragraph sa sobrang haba. So, we may cut it into smaller parts. Next is, we may give him a short break. Okay lang yun, patayuin, walk around the room once, change position. So, yaan, kasi nga hyperactive we cannot let the child with this kind of condition to stay in one place. Kaya medyo i-consider natin doon. Pero naman, as he matures, the breaks may be lessened and the task lengthened little by little. And this is the most important thing, praise and thank the child for his efforts. Ito laging hindi nawawala. Kasi napakaliit na bagay, pero it means a lot to them. The third major problem is cannot wait for his turn. O kahit nga minsan, kahit nga matanda, hindi makahintay, di ba, no? So, bakit hindi makahintay? This is again due to his hyperactivity and impulsivity. Kasi nga sabi ng katawan niya, takbo ka, takbo ka. Yun. His body prompts him to keep on running. To stand still is not natural for him to do. So, yaan ang mga hyper at may mga hyperactivity and impulsivity. So, paano natin i-consider yun or how can we address this problem? Place the child in the second or third position in line so that she may not have to wait for a long time. As he matures, he may be placed at further positions to train him to wait. Next, pwede ring stay beside the child as he tries to wait for his turn. Pwede rin na give him a concrete idea of how long he will have to wait. Pwedeng sabihin mo after 5 counts, then that is your turn. Count softly beside him and with him from 1 to 5. Pwede ring itap siya sa shoulders as you count to catch his attention. Pero yun nga, sabi natin, you should be true to your promise of letting him go after finishing 5 counts. 5 lang, hindi 5 and a half. 5. And then, ito ulit tayo. Praise and thank him for waiting after finishing the count and before letting him go. Yan yung mga suggested teaching strategies that we may do in addressing these three major problems. So, ito yung let us remember. Ito pwede ng picturean. Ito yung generalization. This is the generalization on what we should do.
Naririnig ba ako doon?
Ay, merong nagsasalita. Oo, naririnig. Oops. Okay. Number 1 concept. Hyperactivity and impulsivity are not within the child's control. Scolding by asking him sit down. Ito lagi, no, mga teacher, ano? Upo. Yun. Pero, sa isang batang hyper, this will not work out. Kailangan natin help it control, sit down, and he has. Okay na yung nagsasalita. Next, a calm and modulated voice definitely helps the child to calm down and focus on what the teacher is saying. Modular lang, mahina lang. Yung mga linggo napakasulit kita. A clear and clean working environment. Na naman ako nagpe-present. Sir JD. Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay. A clear? Oo, nawala na naman.
Meron po talaga tayong mga participants na pilit piniklik yung presentation.
Oo, nawala.
O sige, ma'am. Ganun lang po ulit. Balik na po
Nawala
po Google Meet, tapos click niyo po yung present now, ma'am. Pasensya na po. Nire-remove ko na po sa mga sa meeting yung mga nagpe-present ng screen nila, ma'am. Participants, pakiusap po.
Hindi na matatapos.
Pakiusap po sa mga participants, bitawan niyo po yung inyong laptop o yung inyong cellphone. Makinig na lang po tayo kay ma'am. Huwag pong pindot po ng pindot, okay? Sige, ma'am.
Resume. Resume presenting. Huwag magpaka-sped, mga teachers.
Nire-remove ko pang...
Kaya natin. For one situation pa lang ako. Ay. Okay na, yan.
Ayun, ma'am, nakapresent na po kayo. I-click nyo lang po yung... Balik na po kayo sa PowerPoint.
Eto na. Nabalik na ako. Dito na ako sa generalization ng situation number 1 natin. Yan. Number 3 na ako. A clear and clean working environment will already help the child to focus. Be true to your promises, especially when you want to let him know of the rewards he may have after finishing the task. And the most important thing, praise and thank the child for his participation. Okay? Situation number 2. Eto, sino naman ito si Jam? So what is happening? During free play, Alan goes near Jam who was playing alone. So mag-classmate ito si Alan at si Jam. Jam suddenly hits Alan with his toy car. When you come to stop them, Jam starts screaming and crying. He rolls on the floor while banging his head against it. So ang bida natin dito si Jam, ang nagkokontrabida ay si Alan, pero nasaktan naman si Alan. Okay. So why? Bakit kaya? Because of the three major problems. Si Jam, he wants to play alone. So plays alone, hurts self and others, cries and throws tantrums. Ito yung i-address natin sa kanya. So laging sinasabi ko ha, reminder lagi, dear teachers, hindi lahat naman ito nakikita sa bata. So how will you address or which of these three major problems will you address first? So it depends on the frequency. Ilang beses mo nakita na nag-play alone siya, ilang beses mong nakita na nakit siya, at ilang beses mo siyang nakitang nag-tantrums. And also, you may consider the duration. How long? Matagal ba? Mabagal? And syempre, yung intensity. Lalo dito sa hurts self and others. Ano yung intensity? Nagbukulan ba? Na-black eye yan? May dumugo? So yun yung mga i-consider natin na before addressing a particular challenging behavior. Kasi ito, mga challenging behaviors na ito, pwedeng we can consider challenging behavior yung plays alone ha, kasi syempre, it is not for a child to play alone. Kasi syempre, dapat i-consider natin yung kanyang socialization. Okay? So, pagka sinabi kasi nating plays alone, hindi na sense, minsan it is the problem of the teacher not sensing the need for a hyperactive child to use up his excess energy. Kaya tuloy, naglalaro mag-isa. So, ibig sabihin, meron pang energy siya. Kaya, in order to use it up, laro siya mag-isa ulit. Okay? Kaya tuloy, nag-scream, nag-cry, nag-roll, nag-bang his head on the floor. Kasi nga, pwedeng that is also his way of releasing his extra energy. So, posible rin yun. Next naman, bakit nananakit ang mga bata? So, probably it may have been the result of children who are not yet able to talk and can only communicate through physical means. Meron kasi tayong mga delayed speaker, mga ganyan, kaya hindi agad nakakapagsalita, although yung kanyang pananakit, that is a way of communicating to one another or to his classmate. Parang kasi he feels that there is a threat to his safe place. Parang may takot siya, may threat. Kaya, syempre, what will you do? You need to protect yourself, expressing it through aggressive means. So, ganun tuloy yung nangyayari. Headbanging may also be the child's way of getting attention, especially if in the past he was able to get what he wanted after he a similar aggressive behavior. So yung pagka ganito kasi, sometimes mga parents naman kasi gumagawa ng ganito, diba? They allow the child or they give what the child wants kapag nakita na sinasaktan na yung sarili nila. Pero sa teachers, pwede nating iwan yan. Pero mamaya, meron din tayong sasabihin na you will allow him to bang his head, pero yun nga, kailangan safe din yung environment. Next, bakit umiiyak and why does a child throw tantrums? Pwede rin, it could be due to his difficulty in speaking. Crying and throwing tantrums become ways for non-speaking children to express displeasure. So this may also be a sign of confusion and alarm on the part of the child. Excuse me. Often, when the child immediately stops crying after being given a toy or some goodies, the behavior may be his way of getting what he wants from people around him. So parang ganun lagi ang nangyayari. Kaya ito yung pinakamahirap minsan i-address. How do we stop the child in throwing tantrums without allowing him to get what he wants? Kaya ito na yung what can we do? Doon muna tayo sa first major problem in which he plays alone. Let him have his personal space and time to play alone for some time. It could be within the classroom and not far from the rest of his classmates. Hindi masyadong malayo. Sa classroom din. Para we can also practice the socialization. Look for one person whom the child can bear to be with or whom he considers as his friend, to be his playmate or companion in their play. Ito yung sinasabi natin na buddy-buddy system. Ito matagal ng strategy. Talagang napaka-effective nito. So, pwedeng ask the friend to play with the child during playtime in the classroom. So, unti-unti, pwedeng ilapit. So, malayo umpisa, then eventually, papalapitin na. So, the friend or the classmate will move closer to the child. So, kapag halimbawa, nagpakita na ng tolerance, when the child shows tolerance over the presence of the classmate, the friend may move away little by little until the child can be left with his classmate. So, pwede na rin yung ibang classmates to join, to play circle until the child is able to tolerate more children around him. And always praise the child for his friendly behaviors. Hindi ito bigla-bigla kasi one particular characteristic of this child is, yun nga, gusto mag-isa lang. Next, when the child tends to hurt himself and others, pwedeng, eto na yung ating mga strategies. First, make sure that the toys and objects around the child are of soft materials to lessen unforeseen situations. May gusto magsalita? Okay na? Ensure that each child in the classroom knows and understands the importance of asking permission and borrowing toys before they get them. So ganito kasi minsan sa school namin sa Pabella, we make it a point to orient the learners inside the classroom that they have a classmate that needs special education or that requires special educational needs. Kaya maganda itong second na strategy natin na ito eh. Kailangan alam ng mga classmate, alam ng mga bata sa loob ng classroom, naiintindihan siya, at alam ang importance of asking permission and borrowing toys before they get them. Pwede ring, the phrase, may I borrow, may be practiced in class with gestures. Bakit with gestures? Kasi nga sabi natin if the child is not being able to talk, wala pang communication sa kanya, then we make use of movements, gestures. Turn taking in playing with toys may be a good part of the class routine so that each one has a sure chance of playing with the toys. Etong rubber mats. Prepare rubber mats and pads to caution the child's head if he shows head-banging behaviors. It is important not to present the toy or the desired object as a bribe. to make him stop during the head-banging bouts. Instead, give him the desired toy or object as a reward when he stops. So, di ba, no, usually, ano ba yung ginagawa? Minsan, papakita ang laruan, kaya hihinto. Pero, mas maganda kasi na he try to consider stopping this kind of behavior before we can give him the desired toy. And, eto, minsan nakakalimutan natin, huwag magko-comment. Do not comment as you deal with the child currently banging his head on the floor. But praise him lavishly when he stops his behavior. So, ganun. Minsan mahirap gawin lahat, ba? Pero one at a time, we can practice in hindi naman agad-agad ito. Kaya lang, yun nga, sabi natin practice makes perfect. Next natin, child's crying and throwing tantrums. When critical situations happen, try to maintain a calm voice as you try to prevent the children from further hurting each other. Kapag kasi loud at medyo hysterical ka, it may heighten the emotions of the child, which may lead to further tantrums. You may take the toy away and move the children apart from each other. Do not explain when the child is still screaming and shouting. Magiging useless yun. Pareho lang kayong sisigaw. Walang magkakaintindihan. Basta make sure lang talaga that there are no sharp and hard objects around which may be picked up by the screaming child to hurt others. And eto kung kakayanin natin, as much as possible, ignore the disruptive crying and screaming behavior. Wait for the child to calm down before paying attention to him and even praise him that he stopped crying and screaming. Simple explanations may be done when the child gets to calm state. The preferred toy may also be given back to him only when he stops crying and screaming. So, yun. Ito kasi yung ito yung lagi nating namimit, di ba? Yung mga tantrums nila. Tsaka yung nananakit. Yung meron nga kaming dating bata, talagang yung pencil, pinang-saksak pa. So, medyo nakakatakot na ganun. Okay, so we must remember. Let's remember, because of the child's limitations in speaking, there will always be critical situations in the classroom. It would be better to think of preventive actions. So ano yung sabi natin ng mga preventive actions? Yung meron kayong mga mat dyan, yung mga cautions, yung alternative means of communication. Pwede yung gestures, a stable routine in class, and a safe classroom environment would be of great help. Be constant in targeting the behaviors that you want to eliminate in the child. Ito yung sabi ko kanina, diba? So you need to identify which of these three behaviors need a constant elimination. Na you need to target a particular behavior na he frequently does. Yun lang. Ganun lang naman yung So, observation is very important. Yung magka-count ka, kung ilang beses, kung gaano ka-intense ang pananakit na ginawa o yung pag-tantrums niya. So, yun. Involve all the people who are helping the child, especially his family. So, ito lagi nating sinasabi, sometimes our problem, ang SPED teacher kasi, ang lagi niyang problema, yung pamilya ng bata. Kasi nga, Ang sasabihin lang ng family, we do not know how to treat it. Ikaw ang nag-aral niyan, so you do it. Pero yun nga, as much as possible, let us try to ask the parents kung pwedeng puntahan natin o kung pwedeng lagi tayong makipag-communicate sa kanila. Kung ayaw, sige, communicate pa rin ang communicate hanggang makita na rin nila na talagang we care for their child. Kaya siguro sila na rin yan, papayag na rin yan na makipagtulungan. So sabi natin, perseverance, patience, yan ang kailangan ng isang SPED teacher. It is not only the theories, the books that we need to read, talagang yung perseverance and patience natin sa bata at the same time sa family niya. So next, si Janet. Ay, wala. Yan. Pinano tayo. Si Janet ay isang 9 years old and she easily forgets things taught to her. She can say her name and her age when asked, but not her address or telephone number. She has limited concepts, which makes it hard for her to talk to other people. She talks using 1 or 2 words like Kain Janet or Alice Mama. Her speech is not always clear. Okay, ano ba yung mga problema nito ni Janet? Uy, ang dami niyan. Diba? Yan. Easily forgets things and lessons. Cannot give personal information. So, paano pagka nawala, di ba? So, ano yung iba ang ginagawa, yung text, di ba? Yung picture exchange, communication. Yan. Pagka halimbawa, will not be able to talk. So, pinapasuot lang yun dito sa leeg, parang some sort of an ID. Yan, na nandun na lahat, yung information. Has limited concepts, suffers from delayed speech, has unclear speech, pero eto na talaga. Siguro, the reason why she has these problems, it may be attributed to an overall immature development due to the presence of intellectual disability. So, alam naman natin kung ano ang mga characteristics ng intellectual disability. So, eto na yan lahat. Okay? So, what can we do as a SPED teacher or as a regular classroom teacher? Ito yung pwede nating gawin. To help her remember, kasi malilimutin, pwedeng sing a song. Kasi parang it is easier to memorize words when sung because the words ride on the melody and rhythm of the song. Parang mas maganda kasi to help Janet memorize or remember better, put the melody or rhythm on the words to be memorized and practice it many times. So pwedeng let the child hear it and then say it with you. Important information such as personal information may be reviewed through singing it every day until this becomes automatic to the child. Some pop songs may be used to help her learn words too. So, yun. Pwede ring say it and move it. Some children learn better when parts of their body are moving. Action songs, ba? So, napaka-effective niyan in helping the children remember concepts because the words ride on to the movement. Kasi yan nga, saying the word and doing movements with the hand are enough. For example, so turo tayo ng concept ng big. So you can open wide your arms. For the word small, you can do a gesture with your fingers. So yun, say it and move it. So yung number 1, sing a song. Second strategy, say it and move it. Third strategy, say it, see it. So, mas maganda naman. Meron kasi tayong mga visual learners. Pagka ganito kasi mga ID, more on visual learners sila. Pwedeng you can have colorful pictures of the words that the child is learning. To help her remember, write her name and address beside her picture and that of their house. You can also ask her to draw herself and their house and write the information beside it. Hindi agad-agad makakapag-drawing ha, kasi baka sabihin nyo, paano pag hindi naman marunong drawing? Siyempre nga, di ba, step by step ito. Before we go to the drawing session, siyempre meron pa munang number 1 step. Ganon. Okay? So, say her name and address while writing it. Last step, say it, feel it. Say it, feel it. So, meron kang sand, yung buhangin, and spread them over a flat tray. Ask the child to write her name on the sand, guide her hands as they slide through the reins, and say her name aloud. Ask her to say the name while writing and rewriting it. So, yun. Okay? So, second natin, suffers from delayed speech o pwedeng has unclear speech. So, to help the child understand and speak, corresponding strategies are, syempre, number 1, talk to the child. Kausapin, talk to her not only when she asks or wants something, but as often as possible. Talk to her about what she sees, what is happening around her, what she hears, what she feels. Talk to her and point to the event or the object which you are talking about. She does not have to answer. She only has to look and listen. Kasi by just looking and by just listening, the child will be able to learn. Second, modeling. Focus on one word. Go down to the eye level of the child. Ask to look at you. Say the word and point to her and wait for her to imitate. So, ganon. Say the word again 1 syllable at a time and ask her to repeat 1 syllable at a time also. So, level up. When the child uses incomplete words, repeat what she says using more correct patterns. Kunwari, sabi niya, alis mama. So, sabihin ng teacher, aalis si mama. So, in this way, she can be corrected. Next, slow down. Hindi kailangan magmadali, walang humahabol sa atin. Slow down. Kasi minsan, no, yung bata, we cannot understand what he is saying because of the timing o yung ang bilis-bilis magsalita. So, you need to remind the child to slow down when she starts speaking with unclear words. Minsan, di ba, yan yung mga bulol. Kaya, we can ask the child to stop first, take a deep breath, and then say the word again. Next, fewer words. So, bawasan. Huwag naman masyadong madami. Kaya nahihirapan magsalita is because of the too many words. Pick out the important word in what she wants to say and repeat it to her clearly and slowly. Ask her to repeat the words in her turn. Rhythm in speech. It would help if the teacher stresses the rising and falling tones of words when the child is asked to repeat what the teacher says. So, yung mga rhythmic patterns. So, those are the strategies that we may apply to Janet's problems. Remember, children learn, Children learn better in a happy and accepting environment. Keep the atmosphere joyful and give a lot of praises. Be creative. Use home chores and find the child's interest. The child can remember faster if she is interested. Perfection and speed is good, but it can come later. Give the child the feeling that she can speak and people can understand her. Build in her confidence to speak first before building on perfection. Be clear, slow, and simple in giving examples. Remember ha, may condition ang bata. So we need to consider the condition. So clear, slow, and simple in giving examples will allow the child to understand. Ayan. Do not shout. Napaka-importante. Kaya mga SPED teacher talaga mga malulumanay kasi that is one strategy that a SPED teacher always practice. Hindi talaga sumisigaw. Do not shout. If the child does not do what is commanded of her, it is not because she did not hear, but because may bata. She did not understand it yet. Repeat the command with a clear and slow pace. Patience. Ito, no, dami nito. Patience is already 70% learning. The child feels it when the teacher is impatient. Sabi natin, ang bata may condition na ganito, pero ang puso niyan, katulad ng puso natin. Alam niya, meron siyang pakiramdam. Kaya teachers must also stop, take a deep breath, and even get out of the situation first when they feel irritated due to the endless repetitions. Pero we should not allow the child to see our impatience. Kasi sabi nga natin, merong mga pakiramdam iyan. Okay? Next. Nawala. Okay. Ito na yung aking fourth situation. Pwede pa ba, sir? 5 o'clock na? Extend na lang ako?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead po. Sige po. Our participants
Okay.
are in.
Okay po. So, si Angie is 10 years old and likes very much to do art activities. But her hold or grasp of the crayons and the art materials is such that these easily fall from her hands. She has a hard time picking them up from the floor. When coloring, her strokes go here and there, leaving patches of uneven shades. She also finds it hard to fold paper and cut with scissors. So, bakit kaya? Why? Ito yung mga difficulties niya. Yun. The difficulty in holding objects, picking up objects, managing writing coloring tools, folding paper, cutting with the use of scissors. What I am telling you, teachers, bakit ganito yung presentation natin? Ba? Kasi this is how you will find strategies. Meron kasi trial and error. The most important thing is you have to observe the challenging behaviors. Kaya iniisa-isa natin dito. Given the situation, you identify ano yung mga challenging behaviors na nakikita ninyo na makakaapekto sa kanya educational performance. Kaya ganito yung presentation natin. Kaya when you go back to your classrooms, you may observe a particular child, pwedeng estudyante ninyo, makita ninyo na may ganon, then try to identify the characteristics, the behaviors that are challenging. Yung parang hindi dapat ganon ang behavior. So para if you find something, a particular behavior which we have discussed in this presentation, then next na lang yung copies ng strategies ha. I did not include it in my presentation pero Sige, bibigyan ko kayo ng kopya nun so you can use it when you find a particular behavior among listed in this presentation. Okay? So, what can we do? Bakit kaya address muna natin, bakit siya merong mga problemang ganito, di ba? So, kitang-kita naman that she has problems with her hands. It may be that her muscles are not strong enough to help her do the things that she wants to do. Also, her muscles may be strong but are not working in harmony with each other. So, parang, kasi in order to do these things, one must be able to master very fine and complicated movements of the fingers, which is not always easy for LSEN. Yan minsan, hindi talaga madali sa isang LSEN. So now, what can we do? Angie's muscle strength and coordination can be developed by the following routines. Massage. O pwedeng lotion, gamit ka ng lotion, ng baby oil, gently massage the child's arms starting from the shoulder area to the tip of her fingers. Yan. Squeeze. Pwede yung mga squeeze balls. Yan. Yan lagi yung ginagamit eh. Pangpaalis din nga ng stress, di ba? Yung mga squeeze balls. Yan. You may ask her to squeeze the ball and hold the pressure for 5 seconds before relaxing. Clip it. So manipulating the clothespin is a good exercise for the fingers. Ask the child to hang paper artworks on a string using clothespins. Next, pick up. Yon. Ready some beads and marbles mixed and 2 separate containers. Ito yung mga pre-reading natin o pre-writing. Yan, kasi sa fine motor skills na. Ask her to separate the beads from the marbles by putting all the marbles in one can and the beads in the other. Next, shoot the straws. Line up empty bottles and use straws. Ask the child to shoot the straw into the opening of the bottle. Guide the child in the first few bottles and give the child the chance to do it on her own. Next, color big time. So yung big figures muna with less detail to color on. So para this will give her the practice she needs without having to worry about going outside the line. Pwede rin naman na make the lines of the figures thick enough for her to be more conscious of boundaries. Remind her to try to color within the lines. Consider changing the writing tool. Baka hindi pa kaya ng ordinary pencil or crayon to use. Pwedeng choose big and thick crayons and pencil, which will be easier for her to hold. Folding. Practice the child's folding skills. Pwedeng let her fold semi-hard paper like the cartolina, which already have fold marks on them. So, pwedeng kasi magkakaroon na siya ng guide in performing the task. Cutting the scissors. Write straight lines on a piece of paper and let the child cut the paper following the line. So, yun. Kapag kaya na, so when the child masters the art of cutting straight lines, draw a small figure with straight lines so that she may cut it. So, mga susunod-sunod na. So, from simple to complex na yung mga gugupitin niya. Okay? So, let us remember that learning skills is a step-by-step process. Nabanggit ko na to kanina, di ba? Step-by-step. Huwag maiinip. Kung halimbawa, it will take her 2 days or 3 days to master a particular step, so okay lang as long as there is success. Talagang nakatapos siya. okay na yun. Maganda na sa pakiramdam natin yun. So we cannot expect the child to be good in folding and cutting if she does not have the strength and coordination of the muscles needed to finish this task. Let us give the child the time and space she needs to learn. Be creative in giving the child activities that will help her practice the skills she needs to develop. Use her interests and do not force her into activities which she does not like. Learning can be done at the same time as doing house chores. Use these natural situations to give the child the practice she needs. Take advantage of activities such as cooking, cleaning, bathing, dressing, etc. So yung sa cooking, pwedeng, kunwari may sitaw, di ba? Pagputulin sa cleaning, bathing, okay? At sa bahay pa magagawa. Merong follow-up sa bahay. Hand-over-hand assistance. Ito kaya nga ang ating SPED symbol ay yung hand-over-hand assistance. Yung kamay ng bata nasa ibabaw ng kamay ng matanda. Parang we are holding the hands of a special child. So it may be needed for the first few trials of the child. Place your hand on the child's hands so that you may hold and guide her as she does the activity. Let us not do the activity for the child, even if it may mean taking some more time before the chores are done. And in showing the child what to do and how to do a particular skill, be slow and clear. Show the child one step at a time. Wait for the child to finish imitating before showing the next steps. Hindi kailangan magmadali, wala namang nag-ooras sa atin. Talk slowly, using simple words. Tell the child what you are doing while you are doing it. Call the child's attention to make sure that she is following you. Do not mind if the child finishes after a long time. Sabi natin, ang importante yung makatapos siya. Hindi yung length of time na matapos niya. Never mind if the end product is not at all perfect. Nobody's perfect. Sabi natin, as long as the child tries her best to do what you showed her to do, let us accept her efforts and praise her for it. Na ano nyo, nakita ninyo, laging merong praising. Laging, you always praise what the child does. So, generalization, ito sabi natin, there is no one recipe that would cater to all learners with special educational needs. Sabi natin, each child is unique and would therefore need an individualized plan to enable him or her to reach his maximum potential. Ito yung maximum potential na, ito yung pinakaunang definition ng SPED, na kailangan ma-reach ng bata ang maximum potential niya in order for him to be included in the society. With a lot of flexibility and creativity, we can tap into the interests of the child to come up with motivating activities geared towards further developing their skills. Again, you need observation. Kailangan observation, and you also need to discuss some of the characteristics of the child. Nanay, sa tatay, sa kapatid, hindi lang sa isang tao. Kapag halimbawa, we want to get a particular, or we want to observe a particular child, kunwari mag-i-interview ka, hindi lang sa isang tao ang interview. Kailangan 3 or more. Hindi pwedeng isa, hindi pwedeng dalawa. Okay na yung tatlo, o kaya kung halimbawa, sige, okay na rin ang dalawa, pero you need to consider the concepts or the things discussed by the members of the family of the child. We must not forget that it takes more than just technical knowledge to build these children's future. Behind a tireless creative mind, there must also be a heart, puso, full of persevering faith. So ito ang meron ang isang SPED teacher at malapit na rin ang isang, sabagay, ang isang classroom teacher, ang teacher naman talaga laging may puso. Pero nagiging dalawa yung puso ng isang SPED teacher. Tama ba? Yun. Okay? So, all children can learn, sabi natin, kahit siya special, kahit siya regular, all children can learn, and we promote inclusive education. That's all. Thank you very much.
Alright, so maraming salamat po, Professor Olivia Pergurayan. That is a very enlightening session for all of us. Pwede nyo na pong stop yung presentation. And balik na po tayo sa Google Meet.
Stop.
Balik na po tayo sa Google Meet, ma'am. Ayan, thank you so much. So we will accommodate some questions, no, ma'am? Now is 5:15. Probably we can have 10 minutes Q&A session. So sa ating pong mga participants dyan, yung mga fans po ni Ma'am Pagurayan, you may have your questions on the screen. Okay? I'm sure may mga tanong po may mga magtatanong po sa inyo. Pwede po ba na i-share ni Ma'am Olive yung kanyang slides, Ma'am Olive?
Yes, oo, pwede.
Okay po.
May kulang pa yung, I would also like to share with them the strategies kasi I did not include it in my presentation. Baka gusto kasi nila. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, no, yung as you observe a particular behavior, so mas maganda if you have some list on how to strategize or how to make use of the teaching strategy in addressing this kind of behavior. Gusto ba nyo? Baka ayaw nyo, ha?
Sige po, ma'am. I'm sure ang ating po mga participants ay interested po for whatever resources that you will be sharing. So, I will just be waiting for your presentations, ma'am, and the guidelines and strategies. And then, I'll just be sharing them, the files that you will be sharing to me. Okay? Yun. So, yung mga participants po, some of them are asking kung pwede pong mapanood ulit ang webinar na to. So, ako na po siguro ang sasagot. So, sa lahat po ng mga teachers na pumasok in the middle of the presentation and you want to rewatch the video from the beginning, I'll be posting the video po in the Mandaluyong website. So, punta lang po kayo sa learn.depedmandaluyong.org. Okay po. Sige po. I'm just going through the comment section, ma'am. Okay, and just looking for questions. Ma'am, kung babasahin niyo po yung mga comments, marami po nagpapasalamat sa inyo.
Oo, ang dami. Puro thank you.
Opo.
Oo.
So maraming, kami rin po ay gustong magpasalamat for spending some of your time today to listen to Professor Pagurayan. So, meron po tayong question dito, Ma'am Pagurayan, from Ms. Marimel Pardosa. Is it okay to inform the class about special need? Special need a condition of a student, or is it better to orient first and assign body of a child during the first week of the class?
It depends on the type of school kasi. The reason why I said in the presentation that an orientation is important for the class to identify or to know that they have a classmate is because our school is a special school. But it depends on the need of pa rin. If the child has this behavior of not wanting her condition to be identified among his or her classmates, pwede naman na hindi. Pwedeng body-body muna. Kasi sabi nga natin laging trial and error. Pero if the condition is not challenging, hindi naman masyadong challenging, then pwedeng hindi na i-identify. Kaya lang, if the child has these challenging behaviors that will affect the educational performance, then it is somewhat okay. Pero yun nga, sabi natin, we need to ask the opinion of the parents. Kasi laging, yan din yung inaano namin, mga parents. Kailangan alam muna ng mga parents na ito yung gagawin namin kasi yung ibang parents ayaw. At yung ibang parents ayaw na malaman yung anak nila ng ganon at yung ibang parents ayaw din naman na magkaroon ng kaklaseng ganon ang mga anak nila. Kaya medyo we need to check first the situation. Assessment talaga ang napaka-importante. So, kailangan alam natin, we need to weigh things. So, what will be the consequence if we do it? Yung mga ganun na nasa picture pa rin yun. Okay?
Alright, so maraming salamat po for that answer, Ma'am Olive. So, mukhang wala na pong nagtatanong sa ating chat. I think very
Puro
clear
thank you.
po. Very clear po ang inyong presentation. It was very, actually ma'am, I appreciate that it was slow enough para, actually not even slow, but the right word is compassionate. No? The delivery was very compassionate. Oo, para diretso sa puso.
Thank you.
Diretso sa puso yung presentation. Actually, this is not just an intellectual discussion, but a very compassionate discussion, ma'am. Talagang nararamdaman ng puso. Okay? So, ayan. So, maraming salamat po sa nagpapa-thank you kay Ma'am Olive. Kami rin po ay nagpapasalamat in behalf of Schools Division Office of Mandaluyong. Gusto po namin magpasalamat kay Professor Olivia Pagurayan for sharing her knowledge.
My pleasure, sir.
Alright?
My pleasure po, Sir JD. Thank you very much also
And
for...
gusto ko rin po salamat sa mga kapwa niyo po school heads na umattend po dito. Nakita po natin si Ma'am Harvey Duran, si Ma'am Joy Tamayo. So, welcome and maraming salamat po sa mga school heads po na nag-participate. Okay? Pwede po ba, as a way of saying thank you kay Ma'am Olive, magka-count po ako 1, 2, 3. I-unmute nyo po ngayon yung inyong microphone. Okay? I-click nyo po yung inyong microphone and sabay-sabay po tayong one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ay, salamat.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Salamat din.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. And for